And welcome into a special edition of the Desmond Johnson Show here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, tobaccoroadsportsradio.com. Make sure you rate and subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Tobacco Road Sports Radio for the latest in anything really in the Triad sports-wise. One of the biggest things that's happened in the Triad over the past, week or so, the Grimsley Whirlies, the 2025 Grimsley Whirlies, are your 7A North Carolina High School Athletic Association state champions going back-to-back. I've got my buddy head coach Daryl Brown in the house. He's going to chop up this crazy season that started back in August. You've been grinding for like 4 months straight, every week going.
It's been a while. It's definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah, we're going to hit all of it because you guys kind of walked into Chapel Hill kind of banged up too, and we of course did that game. Chase Williams, Jeff Morrison, and Mike Fanning went out to Chapel Hill and did that game last Friday. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the season itself and a whole lot more. It's the Desmond Johnson Show, Grimsley Whirlies football edition. Let's go.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Yeah, welcome to the Carolinas. Everywhere you go, the sky is Carolina blue, the finest. Live action, feedback, the city need that. I've been number one, no cap. Here's the recap. Adrenaline is my addiction. I'm about to relapse. Step on the turf if you want and get your weed whacked. I'm going harder than a martyr on the slaughter end. It's the heart of man, that's a rap like a cardigan. I'm breaking records, it's fourth and inches, I count the seconds. The over-under's my roar of thunder, my secret weapon. Yeah, the game is to be told. I don't break, I break modes. Follow me on Tobacco Road.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the live is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
And again, welcome into the Desmond Johnson Show here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, tobaccoroadsportsradio.com. Make sure you check out the best of the week over on WTOB, 980 AM, 96.7 FM every Friday in the Triad at 6 p.m. And you can catch our Friday afternoon block of sports programming designed for you in the Triad starting at 3 p.m. over on WWBG 1470 AM in Greensboro. Coach Daryl Brown in the house from the undefeated Grimsley Whirlies. When was the last time y'all lost a game, Coach? That was like 3 years ago? I'm still trying to remember. Who's the last team y'all lost to?
Fourth round, 23 playoffs down at Weddington.
Weddington. That's what it was. It was at Weddington. Now, I know you guys have a home streak that's gone on for a while, and I know you guys haven't lost a conference game, I think, since 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to say the last time you guys lost a home game at Jameson was East Forsyth in 2019. Is that right?
All right, I'm going to get you right. So last conference loss was 2018 to Page here. Last regular season loss was 2019 to East Forsyth, 21-20 here in October of that year. We played them in the regular season. And then we lost to them the same score in the playoffs.
Did that game too. Yep.
And then the last actual home loss was the fall of 21, Alonzo Barnett senior year. We lost in the playoffs to Porter Ridge.
That's right. Okay. So you got me right here. So I did notice on Max Preps, you guys finished ranked 11th in the nation. So congratulations, man. I've gotten a chance to know you and your staff and your players over the past couple of years as we built the Grimsley Sports Network via Tobacco Road. Just exhale, first of all, because you don't have practice today. You don't have a game tomorrow. It's probably weird. Like you get used to a certain routine, I guess, week to week. Monday you're doing this. You got coach show that night. Yep. Wednesday you're doing this. Say what?
It's a lifestyle, really.
Yeah, it is.
So people like it's a 6 month. You have this lifestyle for 6 months, then you kind of like decompress, and you have another lifestyle for 6 months, basically.
I know a lot of the coaches' wives look forward to this part of the year where now it's like, oh, now you're here. You're home now, like as opposed to them coming to the school and everything else. Walk me through from August to here how you feel about this group of Grimsley Whirlies, because this senior group in particular has done something really special in terms of their overall record, hardware they've brought back to Greensboro. This senior class has won 2 state championships.
Yes, correct. So, so the seniors, like Faizon was a freshman on the varsity his freshman year, and Nick Casher-Barrow we pulled up his freshman year. So those are the only 2 guys that were with us in 22. We lost in the state championship to New Bern that year. So they went to the state championship 3 out of 4 years, and obviously they won it the last 2 seasons. But in their time at Grimsley, if you count their freshman year, that 4-year stretch, we've gone 60-1 during that time, with the one loss, like I said, was to Weddington there in the 4th round. But
it's incredible.
the thing that makes this group so special, really like, and we got to spring ball in May for us, kind of like kicks off our season. I know everybody August 1st, the first official day, but the way things are now, we treat May practice, our spring practice, as the start of our season. And, it's kind of when we like lay the groundwork for how we're going to approach things and what we're going to do. So with this group, it was more about, they had already accomplished so much throughout their career, how we're going to keep them motivated, how we're going to keep them hungry and, focused, those kind of things, because it's so easy to get distracted or, become complacent. And we just talked about this group being able to do something that's never been done at Grimsley High School. And that's winning back-to-back state championships. And then we talked about what it was going to take to get there. And, the fact that, we said everybody's going to be wanting to knock us off. They understood that. When you win a state championship, you got a target on your chest and everybody's coming for you. They want a piece of you. So we talked about how what we had done in the past meant nothing now. And it doesn't matter, what you've accomplished. It's going to take even more going into this season. So I thought they really responded to that. We faced adversity early in the season, losing Faizon week 1 to the injury. I think that in itself, which is crazy to say, I think once we got through it, it made our team stronger, more together, and even better. Guys had to elevate their game. Wasn't like Faizon bailed us out here. It took everybody. And I said a lot throughout the playoff stretch that I thought this group was probably a more collective effort than in years past. And then every Friday night, it was a different guy stepping up, making a play for us. Guys on defense that nobody even knew about when the season started. We were so young, especially up front on that side of the ball. And in the secondary, just making, big-time plays in big-time moments. Different running backs contributing. Our offensive line, which had 4 new starters, getting better as the year went on. And so I'm just really proud of just their willingness to stay with us, to stay focused, to not be satisfied, and, just everybody collectively elevating their game and playing better as the year went.
The head coach for the Grimsley Whirlies, the undefeated state champion Grimsley Whirlies, Daryl Brown, in the house here on the Desmond Johnson Show. I got Faizon in the back. I'm gonna bring him in just a second here to join us. Faizon, if you can hear us in the back, flip your phone. Your phone is sideways, so see if you can flip the phone so you're turned the other way around. He's getting all that technical stuff together.
Faizon, he ought to know that by now. He should be a pro at all these.
All right, yeah. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring him in. One of the top-ranked quarterbacks in the nation, Faizon Brandon, senior quarterback, heading off to Tennessee here after Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. What's going on, Faizon? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Cute.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. I had a question because you guys had a weird regular season in terms of what you had to deal with. So, Faizon, I'm going to take you all the way back to August. You're down in Charlotte. You get hurt towards the end of the game against West Charlotte, which was a instant classic. And you have to basically sit out throughout the regular season. What was that like for you? Describe the swirling around you, because I'm sure you probably had some folks saying, hey, don't come back, don't play again, leave early. And you probably had others who were like, hey, when are you coming back? There was all kinds of rumors and this and that about what was going to go on with you in terms of if you were going to come back and play, and then you were ready to go. I've spoken to you a few times. We know each other. I had a feeling you were going to probably, if you could play, you were going to play around the playoff time with your friends. It's the reason why you're here to begin with. So walk me through that part in August when you found out you're going to have surgery on your hand and you had to basically sit on the sidelines for the entire regular season. I'm sure you were chomping at the bit to get in. What was that like? Did you have a lot of people coming at you like, hey, what are you doing? Are you going to leave early? Are you not playing? Because we were hearing a lot of it here. And I was like, I see them every Monday. Like, I'm pretty sure if he wasn't going to play again, I would know before whatever sites on the internet we're going with. He's on to the helicopter.
I would say, because I'm on my iPad. Sorry about that. And
I think there's like a lock or something you can do, like a screen lock. I think it's flipping you around. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Did you get?
You good?
Yeah, there you go. And coach, this question's for you too, because as soon as I had heard it, the first person I texted was you, and I was like, "Hey, I'm getting this thing online about."
I'll let Faizon answer, then I'll jump in there.
Yeah, go ahead, Faizon.
All right, but yeah, I'm gonna have to join on my phone.
Yeah, you might have to go hop out and come back in on your phone.
I'm gonna answer it for you, Faizon.
Yeah, go ahead and do that real quick, and I'll ask Coach Brown. So I'm up.
Yeah, so you're right. You're right,
All right.
Des. Like, and Faizon will tell you. And I've said, I got a phone call one day saying he was already in Tennessee. Hey man, what you gonna do? Your quarterback's already gone. He's in Tennessee. And as I'm listening to the person on the other end tell me that, I'm looking across my office and Faizon's sitting in my office beside me, and I'm just like, what's going on? But it just shows you just how crazy, chaotic, wild things are out there. People don't know. They think they know, and they don't really have a clue. And to be honest with you, I kind of get sick of it. These guys are high school student athletes. And does he have a lot of things going for him? Does he have a bright future? Absolutely, he does. And great things are coming his way. But just like most high school kids, it's very important to play for your high school team with your teammates, with your brothers, with guys like Faizon has been playing with some of these guys since they were young, little kids. And credit to him and his family, but it mattered to him to be here with his teammates, to be with his school, to suit it up one more time and play in Jamison Stadium and represent Grimsley High School. Does he have great things ahead? Absolutely he does. But this is something that he's not going to get back, and it's part of his legacy. And I think he handled everything the right way. Me and him would talk, and, you never saw Faizon on social media saying or even alluding to the fact that he was leaving,
right,
or going or not playing or whatever. He just kept quiet, did what he was supposed to do, listened to his doctors, listened to his parents, listened to his coaches. And when they said, all right, start rehabbing, he started rehabbing. When they said start throwing, he started throwing. When they said you can play, he said, let's go. And so that's the way it's supposed to be.
Faizon, how was it for you on your end with that? I know there was a lot of Tennessee fans that were basically like, don't play again, just come on up here and get started, that kind of thing. I have friends that are Tennessee fans who are like, do you ask me all the time, is Faizon playing again? What's this? What's that? How severe is the injury, whatnot? How hard was it for you, especially early, seeing that you weren't gonna be able to play a significant amount of time and not knowing when you would be able to return, or did you know that you would have time to still return in this season? When you first got injured in August?
Well, I didn't really know what would happen the first week, but after I got surgery, I just really tried to do anything, to get back. And I say that was the biggest thing, was just trying to do anything to be able to get back to play with the guys one more time. So I know there's a lot of people saying, don't play and stuff like that, but I just listened to my parents, the coaches and stuff, and they let me make my own decision, and I wanted to come back.
Well, I know Grimsley was ecstatic to have you back, especially for the first round of the playoffs. But a lot of people don't know, Coach. We were talking. We do This Is Whirly Nation with you guys, your coaches show every Monday night from Natty Greens. Shout out to Chris Lester and everybody over there who have been super hospitable with us the past couple of years, taking over their second floor on Monday nights. But we had talked, when it happened the week following. I think I was out there producing that show. And you were saying, I was like, well, who's next up? Because, I hadn't really seen who your backup quarterback was. And you were like, we've got this freshman kid that's pretty good. And I remember Evan Fancourt, the athletic director, when I was out there during the summer. We usually meet during the summer in between school years just to kind of discuss things and tweak stuff. And he was saying, I was like, well, who's after Faizon? And he was like, we got this freshman kid that came in that looks pretty good. We didn't think we were going to see Brody Lowe this early, but you were telling me there was a stretch during the regular season, really throughout the whole time Faizon was hurt. You guys were rolling with one quarterback on your roster. Is that correct?
Yes, for sure. When Faizon went down, it obviously, was a big loss for us. But, we felt good with Brody, just like kind of like Faizon's freshman year. Him and Ryan Stevens was our two quarterbacks. And, so we actually played both of those guys throughout the fall. And, we kind of thought we'd handle things the same way a little bit with Brody. We actually were going to play him on JV was the initial plan, and then 8-quarter him on Fridays. And if we had some games in leads, maybe get Faizon out and let him play some, in the fourth quarter or whatever. But obviously all that changed week one. And so then when Brody got, into the mix, really like we had a JV quarterback who did a good job with that team, but probably wouldn't be ready to play on Friday nights. And so really our backup plan from that point on, once we knew Faizon was going to be out for a lengthy period of time, we kind of got Hudson Cooper, who's like a do all everything for us. You know, played slot, played outside receiver, played a little H-back. So we called it like a wildcat personnel. But Hudson had the ability to throw it a little bit. You could sprint him out, and he could throw flood concept or, you know, some quick game stuff. So we had a little package for him. Luckily, we never really had to go to it. We just had to play him a few times. But I always kid with Hudson. Hudson came to Grimsley thinking he was a quarterback. And before his freshman year, he went to Peyton Manning's passing academy as a quarterback. And then he got here his 9th grade year, and he walked out there and saw Faizon throwing the ball around. He's like, well, I'm not a quarterback. I got to find another position.
So I'm sitting here trying to think about because we've broadcasted every Grimsley game, regular season and playoffs, for going on 3 years now. So we've been along with you guys on this trek the entire time. And I told you back in August, I felt like, you guys have enough to get back to the state championship. I don't know if I ever told you the story. The very first week of This Is Whirly Nation of this year, back in August, my wife had started coming with me and helping out, set up things and things of that sort. And we were sitting there, and we were in the middle of doing the show. I think Faizon, you were on the first show this season. So we were sitting there. I was producing, Chase was hosting, and I was looking down, and I heard this rumble, and I look up, and it's all these like offensive linemen. They had just brought out chicken wings or something, and like all these offensive linemen had ran towards the thing or whatever. And we were going to the car later, and my wife was like, those kids are large. Like, they're really, really big kids. Like, and she noticed it too while we were there. And I was like, yeah, they're pretty big over here. Describe to me the offensive line, Faizon, in terms of your camaraderie with them. I know a lot of them have been there for a long period of time. They've been blocking for you, protecting your backside for your entire career at Grimsley. What's it like being able to come back and finish with those guys, in particular, that position group?
I'll say it's very exciting to be able to finish it with those guys. I built a very good relationship with them, and just talking to them the whole time, I feel very safe coming back to play with them. Those guys, I know they would protect me to the best of their ability. So I know I will go out. Well, I know they would put everything on the line for me. So I just wanted to go out there and put everything on the line for them.
So you guys have had some battles, and me and Coach Brown have talked about this. You guys went through a gauntlet last year in the playoffs in terms of the teams you guys had to go through to get to the very end. The 4A West was ridiculous for 4 or 5 years before after they went back down to 4 classes. They basically shoved all of the Guilford schools, Forsyth schools, the mountains, and Charlotte all into one region, and the East was kind of a couple of teams, Cardinal Gibbons and a couple of others, and that was really kind of it. Out of all the teams you guys have seen over the past 4 years during Faizon's career, who do you consider your biggest rival after these 4 years? It doesn't have to be conference, it doesn't have to be even local, because you played, like you said, Coach Brown, you played Weddington like 3 or 4 times in this stretch. You played Huff 3 or 4 times in this stretch. You played Indy. You've played all the Charlotte teams. You've played the teams up here, West Forsyth, East Forsyth, Reagan. You've played all these teams up here too. What team would you consider Grimsley's like rival or measuring stick, so to speak, whatever, over the past 4 years that you kind of looked at them and go, we're probably going to have to go through them before we can get to our goals or whatnot?
Well, it's a great question. I think everybody's our rival. I don't like anybody other than our guys. But,
that's a great answer.
I mean, when you look at the past 4 or 5 years, actually, obviously before they reclassed this year, we kind of knew when you look at the bracket, if we took care or did what we were supposed to do, Huff and Weddington were going to be sitting there. And we had a 3-year stretch where we played Huff and Weddington back-to-back weeks in the playoffs for 3 consecutive years. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure. Like both those teams, Huff, every year we played them probably top to bottom, the most talented team I've coached against in a long time. I mean, offensively, defensively, they got size, speed. They've been really good. They've had great kickers. The kid that kicks at Clemson now.
Oh, yeah.
So special teams was always really good. And then you get through that one, and your reward is a matchup with Weddington the following week. So now you're playing a team that's perennial state champion. Had won state champions in 2017, 2019. Even before we got going, they were already a power,
Mm-hmm.
and winning state championships. And I think probably, one of the more disciplined, well-coached, program type schools, that you've got in the state. Like, they are a program. They're a consistent winner every single year and have been doing it for over 10 years. So, I mean, those 2 games, back-to-back weeks, I kidded with Coach Capone before at Weddington. I said, man, how do we go through this whole stretch the past 3 years or so, and you've never had to play Huff? So we always had to play Huff, and then they never had to play Huff.
Yeah.
And, but, those 2 matchups obviously were special. And then we played Weddington again this year. So 4 years in a row of playing those guys. I mean, you can call it rivalry, whatever you want to call it. It's just a really good, hard-fought, tough, physical football game. And, you're not just going to show up and say, well, we're better than them, we're going to win. You got to do all the little things right to win those games.
Coach, it's awkward for me because I'm the voice of the Eagles. I'm East Forsyth alumni, do or die or whatnot. But I found myself in positions this year where I've been online in arguments defending the Grimsley Whirlies from people.
Good for you.
From people from the 704. They're like, we would have beat them this year, would have beat them that year. I'm like, but you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always like, well, if we had done this and done that, we'd be the ones that won. I'm like, but you didn't do that. And I'm always the one telling them, Grimsley, I've seen enough of them. I've called enough of their games. I've been around their kids and their coaches. They're the type of program where they're good enough where they will wait for you to make a mistake and then they capitalize on it. And that's pretty much, for me, been the MO whenever I see you guys play, especially these teams like Huff or Weddington or whoever. It's who's going to make the first mistake. And it feels like you guys drill that in. When they're going to make a mistake, they have to beat us. It's not the other way around. We're not going to beat ourselves. I rarely see you guys, especially with Faizon's tenure there. I can't think of a game in this 4-year stretch where you guys just simply beat yourselves. And of course, only lost one game in the past, whatever. Anyway,
one game since Faizon's been here. So
yeah, so I mean, it's not it's a lot to pick from here.
Yeah, but even like before that with Faizon and them guys, when they come here, and Faizon can tell you, like, first of all, we take pride in all the little things. Like, we hold our kids accountable year round. We take pride in doing things right. We take pride in how we lift and how we approach the off season, how we run, and we hold those guys accountable. And so I think if that's like who you are, that's your system. That's what all our guys know. So now they get in games, and we treat every game the same, whether it doesn't matter who we're playing. When we get to the Huff and Weddington game, obviously the stakes are larger, but in Faizon, you can, if I'm wrong, you tell him, like, we practice the same for Huff as we do week 3, week 4.
You don't change.
Like, our preparation's the same. Yeah. How we practice is the same. These guys will probably tell you I'm a crazy, I'm on them, week 5 when they know we're going to win by 50 or something, like, it doesn't, like, we're not worried about the result. We're worried about the process, how we go about doing it, how we approach it. And we know if we approach things right then, when we get to Huff Weddington State Championship, that it's already ingrained in us how we're going, how we go about handling things. So we take pride in not beating ourselves, just being disciplined and just playing the game the right way. And I think just that tough mindset, mentality. This year when we played Weddington, that we had to fumble, the scoop and score for them to make it 13-7. And we were really, there was a 2-play exchange there where we had a chance to put the game away 20-0 on the interception return by Kasi. We had the penalty. The very next play we fumble, they score 13-7. If our guys were not the way they are, tough, disciplined, not getting mad at each other, there was nobody on that sideline that got frustrated, that got mad at one another, or saying they was just like, okay, we're good. Let's just get back to doing us. And, held on for a big-time win, against a really good team, and had to make some big-time plays down the stretch to win that game. So it just kind of shows their makeup, and it's a credit to our staff and just how we do things all year.
Head coach Daryl Brown and quarterback Faizon Brandon joining me here on the Desmond Johnson Show from the state champion Grimsley Whirlies. Faizon, I think Coach told me that you're going to be in the area until after Christmas, and then you're heading off to Tennessee early. In the entire time you've been here, Coach mentioned that you've only lost one game as a starter at Grimsley. What's your fondest memory as the starting quarterback for this program over the past couple of years? Is there one that sticks out?
I'll say definitely winning 2 state championships. Both of those nights stand out the most to me.
I'm trying to think too, because really, New Bern was before you. That was Alonzo, right? That was Barnett.
No, I was there. Yeah, I was
You were
there.
there. Okay,
Yes,
so and we did that game too, and then whatever happened with New Bern after the fact.
Ryan Stevens was our starter then, and Faizon.
Yeah, and you had packages.
Faizon was a freshman.
Yeah, okay, I remember that now. So, and you've played with a lot of D1 kids at Grimsley over the past 4 years. You know, not just D1 kids, but like top ranked at their position type kids, like top 5 type kids. What's that been like playing at Grimsley with all of these different variations of kids that you've played with that have been like top ranked and gone off to D1 schools? Have you had a chance to talk to them, to ask them, what should I be prepared for as you get ready to go to Tennessee? What are the things I should look out for? You're kind of navigating this new frontier in college sports where with NIL and the portal and things like that, rosters can change on a dime. The fact that you have remained committed to Tennessee since, when was that when you committed? We streamed it for you. It was back in last spring, I think it was, like last school year at the end of it.
Yeah, it was like before the season last year.
Yeah, it might have been like right at the end of the summer, or
it was before his junior year.
Yeah, that's right. Because you've been committed for a couple of years. So you've stayed with them throughout. And I keep watching these kids like flip like all over the place before they even set foot on campus. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Tennessee and how you've stayed committed with them and their process in terms of being in touch with you while you were hurt this year. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with the Volunteers as you get ready to head off to SEC country here in a couple weeks.
I have a great relationship with the coaches down in Tennessee, but I would just say, they stick with me when I was hurt and stuff like that. Try to ask me if I need anything when I was hurt, and I would say just the reason I stayed committed to them is because they didn't recruit any other quarterbacks or anything like that. I think that was mainly because I didn't take any other visits. Because if I took other visits, I feel like they had the right to go out and try to find other quarterbacks also. So just staying committed to them, because I liked them for a very long time. So just staying committed to them was, I'd say, the best for both of us. So they didn't find another quarterback, and I just stayed locked in with them.
They've been super busy recruiting too. They've got a good class coming in along with you. So I'm super excited to watch you progress there. I always end it with this. Whenever a squad wins a state title or something to that effect, I ask them this question whenever I have them on the interview. What was your post-game meal, Coach Brown and Faizon, after you won the state championship? What was your championship celebratory dinner?
Well, immediately after the game, it was Chick-fil-A. That's what they had for us. Our AD and some people got Chick-fil-A boxes for our guys. So our game, which Des, you watched, the third quarter lasted for like an hour.
Oh, dude.
And we won't get into that because that's a whole nother episode.
I was about to ask you because I had questions. You reminded me, I had some questions about that whole second half. Like, what was going on with the referees? Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's a whole nother show. So we didn't leave Chapel Hill until it was after midnight.
Yeah, and the game started.
So we got back to school about 1:30, 1:45. We get back. They have the Booster Club parents and stuff. They're all in the parking lot waiting on us. So we're out there with them for a while. So I got home from school about a little after 3:00 in the morning. And so anyway,
probably still
I had Chick-fil-A on the bus and then got up the next morning and went to Biscuitville. So that was me.
Was that what you too? Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A and nothing else was open when we got back. So we just had to wait till the morning.
Because I watched that game. Because by the time I got home, I had to do a Mount Tabor basketball game. So I didn't go. And I got home, and you guys were starting the second half. And I turned on our player and the TV, and I realized really fast that our call actually matched up perfectly to the television feed. So as soon as I turned it on, I could hear Chase and Jeff calling, and it matched up to the TV. And we were in the third quarter. And in that third quarter, it was like there was a stretch where I felt like they called like 10 or 12 penalties like every other play. And that wasn't the problem. The problem was that it was almost like they had never refereed before, because it was like they were conferring every single call, and every call was taking like 5 minutes to decide. And then they'd come to the mic and be like, offsides or holding. And it's like, why is this taking so long for them to do this? And it was the whole third quarter. And like it felt like it kind of stymied both teams in terms of momentum, because it was like stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. And I could see on the sidelines, you, Coach Brown, and the coach for the other team just getting mad. Like you stand on the sideline just like staring at the referees because it's like, what are you doing? Like what is going on? And like they never fixed it. Like what was that like in that third quarter? You're in a close battle going back and forth.
There was
and
no
the referees are trying to take the shine.
There was no flow, no rhythm to the second half. And again, that's a credit to our guys, like stuff you can't control. But I think part of my responsibility to these guys, to Faizon and his teammates, is when I feel like things, and I really have, over my time, especially the last few years, I've gotten to where I don't really say a lot to the officials.
You really don't.
Judgment calls. And I tell our guys all the time, don't worry about the officials, just play the game. We can't control it. But I do feel like part of my responsibility is when I feel like we're kind of getting a bad deal on some things, to kind of stand up for them a little bit. And we had multiple guys coming off the field, guys that never say anything. Faizon being one, Neil Johnson being another, our center. Talking about some of the things that were happening on the field that were not getting called and that were deliberate stuff after the whistle. And a few of the unsportsmanlike penalties that we got was because our guys were trying to explain to the officials, hey, this guy's kicking this guy or stomping on this guy or hitting this guy, or whatever it may be, after the play. And we, saw it. I kept communicating with the guy on our sideline, and nothing ever really happened on the field. He was trying to let them know. And I don't know, they just seemed like really caught off guard by a lot of it, which was, kind of bewildering to me. But that's kind of where I was at, was just, my guys are out there laying on the line for one another. I need to kind of fight for them a little bit right now. And that's kind of where the mind frame I got into in that third quarter. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. And our guys found a way. Obviously you'd rather it not be like that, but you just got to, pursue and get through it no matter what.
Faizon, there was a part in that weird, wacky third quarter where you guys were driving, you were towards the goal line, and you got knocked out of bounds, and there was a big kind of skirmish or whatever on the sideline. I think they threw like offsetting penalties or something to that effect. Can you even describe what was going on over there? Was that just kind of Clayton? There was one kid from Clayton on the D line that was in all of this stuff, it felt like, the whole time. And I remember because he was grinning like the whole second half. He was kind of come off the field grinning. I think he's going to Miami. It was that kid. Can you describe like what it was like on the field playing against Clayton in terms of, you got the referees doing what they were doing, you got Clayton doing what they're doing, and you're the leader of the team, and you're seeing all this stuff happen around you, and then that play happens where you get pushed out of bounds, it's late, all this stuff's going on. How did you keep your composure so that your other guys around you were able to keep theirs?
I'll say just knowing it's football and things will happen, but I guess when certain things happen, it was kind of hard to keep the guys from doing certain things whenever they see something happening to another one of their brothers. I would say, they were trying to stand up for each other. So it was kind of hard to stop them from doing certain things. But I think there were some things that we could have stopped ourselves from doing, like talking to the refs, I think one play. But it's kind of hard to stop them from helping our brothers sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of O linemen, jumping to your defense, of course, when something like that would go down, and it felt like it was getting more in Clayton's head more than anything else. Like they were getting frustrated because then they started doing like weird penalties. Like I think a kid said something in the secondary near a referee, and the referee threw a flag like somewhere near that same time. Like it made the third quarter like an hour and a half by the time we got to the end of this game, and it trickled over into the fourth. But shout out to you guys, man. I've had a chance to get to know your program and the whole organization, really. Shout out to Evan, everybody over at Grimsley that makes it so much fun for us to come and cover you guys. Coach Corbett will start his coaches show will start after the end of the 2025 as we go into conference play for basketball. I know Coach Corbett probably wishes he had you for basketball this year, Faizon, but I'm sure he'll figure something out. But between Coach Brown, his family, his staff, Riggsy and all these other guys, I just want to say congratulations to you guys. You guys have done something that honestly hasn't been done in this area in a very long time. I was trying to think of the last team that was able to do this, like go back to back, undefeated, different classes, the teams you had to go through the past 2 years in the playoffs alone. And then this year, we talked about it back in August, Coach, your non-conference schedule before you even got to conference play was pretty good. West Charlotte, West Forsyth, East Forsyth. Like you guys, it wasn't like you guys were ducking smoke at all. Like you took on all comers. And
the team from Verona out of Richmond, Virginia, they won their state championship 45-0.
Wow. And that was a game you had to pick up late because I remember we were back in like June, July, and you guys still had like a spot missing for a game.
I think they finished ranked number 1 in the state of Virginia and won their state championship. And
wow.
That was a really tough game.
And you played it late, like in October or something like that?
Yeah, it was
like,
the 7th game of our season. It was in the middle of our conference play. Just to credit, like Faizon and these guys, we talked about leaving their mark, and they can walk out of Grimsley High School and move on, and they definitely left their mark here, not only at Grimsley, but within the city of Greensboro for sure, and the state of North Carolina. Anything
you want to say, Faizon, before we get out of here in terms of to the Grimsley faithful or your family, anybody else? Because next time I get a chance to talk to you, you'll be wearing that orange from Tennessee. Anything you want to say to everybody?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to thank all the Grimsley coaches and Grimsley community. And I'll say I love all my brothers, all my teammates and stuff like that.
There you have it. So head coach Daryl Brown, senior quarterback Faizon Brandon heading off to Tennessee to play in the SEC next year. We're going to end it right there. We should have our NFL roundtable that'll air on Saturday over on WWBG 1470 AM. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, rate and subscribe the YouTube channel. You'll get notifications whenever anything drops. I do need to mention this week was very special. Believe in Panthers. Go check us out. Me and Jonathan Stewart. We had Steve Smith on Tuesday, and then we had Captain Munderland on today. So definitely go check those 2 episodes out over there on the Believe Podcast Network as well. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Congratulations again to the 2025 Grimsley Whirlies, 7A state champions, back-to-back undefeated seasons. And Coach, you know how we do. We'll start this whole thing all over again in August and get this thing rolling.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for everything, Des.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in. And we'll see you guys next time on the Desmond Johnson Show.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the life is one. Represent NC to the fullest.
Yeah, welcome to the Carolinas. Everywhere you go, the sky is Carolina blue, the finest. Live action, feedback, the city need that. I've been number 1, no cap. Here's the recap. Adrenaline is my addiction. I'm about to relapse. Step on the turf if you want and get your weed whack. I'm going harder than a martyr on the slaughter end. It's the heart of man, that's a rap like a cardigan. I'm breaking records, it's 4th and inches, I count the seconds. The over-under's my roar of thunder, my secret weapon. Yeah, the game is to be told. I don't break, I break modes. Follow me on Tobacco Road.
Live with Desmond Johnson, son, the life is one. Represent NC to the fullest.